Slowing down is not giving up ambition. When women step out of hustle mode, three powerful things tend to happen. First, welcome to The Change Effect, the podcast that helps you turn life transitions into powerful new beginnings. One story, one shift, one breakthrough at a time. I'm your host, Noelle Van, an author, leadership coach, and change strategist who spent years in corporate America helping innovators and leaders break through barriers to create success on their own terms. I now work with women to step into change to create a life they love. Whether you're putting yourself at the center of your own story, redefining success, or making a power pivot in your life, career, or business, you're in the right place. Each week, we dive into conversations with trailblazers, changemakers, and everyday women experiencing the ripple effects that come from overcoming the fear and doing it anyway, providing actionable steps, practical strategies, and a whole lot of fun along the way. So if you're ready to step up and become unstoppable, buckle up and let's get started. There's a story many high-achieving women were taught to believe. If you work hard enough, if you stay later, if you prove yourself just a little bit more, success will come. And when it does, you'll finally feel satisfied. But here's the uncomfortable truth I've seen time and again. Success does come, and yet the feeling of ease, fulfillment, or freedom often doesn't. Because the system we used to get there was built on something else entirely. Hustle culture. And if you've ever found yourself feeling exhausted by the very success you've worked so hard to create, today's episode is for you. So to get us started, let's talk a bit about what hustle culture actually is. We all talk about hard work, and hard work can be deeply meaningful. But hustle culture is something different. It's the belief that your worth is measured on how much you produce. It tells you if you're not busy, you're falling behind. If you're resting, someone else is getting ahead. And if you want success, you have to sacrifice balance, health, and sometimes even relationships. And women, especially ambitious women, have been particularly vulnerable to this messaging because many of us entered workplaces that weren't built with us in mind. So the strategy became simple. Work harder, prove more, don't complain, be indispensable. And all of this works for a while until it doesn't. So how does this show up in our lives? Well, I'm going to give you three examples. The first example is the corporate high performer. Now, you're the woman who always says yes, the reliable one, the one who stays late to finish the deck, the presentation, the strategy. You're praised for being a rock star, but the promotion just keeps getting delayed. And recognition never quite matches the effort. And slowly your life becomes a cycle of work, recover, work again. Now, here's a second example, the entrepreneur who recreates their corporate scenario. Many women leave corporate thinking entrepreneurship will give them freedom, but instead, they recreate the same pressure. Posting constantly, launching constantly, always building, producing, growing. Their calendar is packed, their nervous system is fried, and they wonder why the freedom they imagined still feels out of reach. Now, the third example is the life hustler, right? This is the one that's so much quieter, right? But just as exhausting. You optimize everything, morning routines, workout plans, meal prep, productivity systems. Life becomes a series of things to improve. Even rest becomes another task to perform correctly. So what's the hidden cost of all of this? Well, here's the real problem. Hustle culture disconnects you from clarity. So when you're constantly moving, you don't have a space to ask, do I actually want this? I see this moment happen with women all the time. They reach the top of something they worked for years to achieve. And they realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. Not because they made a mistake, but because they never had time to pause and ask a deeper question. So what happens when you slow down? Now, here's the part that's counterintuitive. Slowing down is not giving up ambition. It's actually how the next level of your life begins. When women step out of hustle mode, three powerful things tend to happen. First, clarity returns. You begin to see what truly matters and what doesn't. Second, energy comes back. Not the adrenaline energy of stress, but sustainable energy, the kind that fuels meaningful work. And third, creativity returns. Many of the best ideas, pivots, or reinventions don't come from pushing harder. They come from stepping back, from a quiet place, from reflection. Now, with all this said, here are three lessons I've personally learned about stepping out of hustle culture. Lesson number one, more effort is not always the answer. Sometimes the breakthrough comes from stepping away, not pushing through. Lesson number two, boundaries are my strategy. Women are often taught to be endlessly available, and that's what equals leadership, but it's not. Clear boundaries create respect and space for better work. And lesson number 3, my life should expand as my success grows, not shrink. If your success makes your world smaller, something needs to change. So here's a question I'll leave you with today. Where in your life are you still operating in hustle mode, even though you've already proven yourself? And what might open up if you allowed yourself to slow down just enough to listen to what your life is actually asking for next? Because sometimes the most powerful move you make is not pushing harder. It's stepping back so you can move forward with intention. Now, I'm attaching a link in the show notes to a slowdown challenge and journal exercise called the Hustle Audit for those of you interested in digging deeper. That's it for now. Until next time. Thank you for listening to The Change Effect. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoyed this episode, so more women like you can find us and take their next step toward creating a life they love.